how's it going YouTube? Welcome to Asian Filmist. My name is Ray and I love movies. And the movie I'll be talking about today is 2016's Cutie Honey Tears, the reboot of the renowned anime manga originally created by Nagai Go. And apologies because as you can see behind me, I lost all my movie posters. And that's actually because I'm in the process of moving to a new place, so bear with me until I can get everything set up again. Now, Cutie Honey Tears is kind of a fresh new take on the superhero. This time around, Cutie Honey is played by Nishiuchi Mariya, who happens to also be a singer-songwriter. And in Cutie Honey Tears, she also sings the theme song. Well, both the iconic Cutie Honey theme song and the movie's theme song entitled Believe. Now, the story of Cutie Honey Tears, it takes place in the future, where everybody in the world is divided into two classes, an upper class and a lower class. And the upper class are basically the well-off, the rich, and they literally live several kilometers above the Earth's surface. Now, while the rich and the wealthy, they live all the way up here. The lower class, they live down here in the slums, where everything is polluted, nothing is clean, and everyone is poor. Now, Cutie Honey, she's an android with superhuman abilities and the ability to transform into any cosplay that she wants. And Cutie Honey, she gets recruited by these revolutionaries from the lower class with their mission to basically take out the AI who's ruling the entire world and keeping everyone oppressed. Supporting Cutie Honey is Hayami Seiji, who's played by Miura Takahiro. And together they fight against their enemy, Jill, who is played by Ishida Nicole. So Cutie Honey is a setup for your typical superhero movie, but it doesn't really have a setup for your typical Cutie Honey movie. But did everything work out? Yep, let's talk about that. These are the things I enjoyed about Cutie Honey Tears. One thing that's obvious when you check out the trailers and you check out stills from the movies is that the set design is really cool and that the special effects have improved leaps and bounds from any of its predecessors. And of course, when I say predecessors, I'm talking about the 2004 live-action movie who stars Sato Eriko, and also the TV series which stars Haramikia in the lead role. You know, back then the technology and the budget used for these kinds of tokusatsu hero movies and works weren't all that high. So, you know, taking a look at Cutie Honey Tears, it's amazing to see how far the effects have progressed. And that being said, the action sequences and the fights feel a bit more realistic in Cutie Honey Tears and far less tokusatsu-ish, you know, if that's really a word. You know, the 2004 live-action movie felt like it was really trying to bring an anime to life in the form of a movie, which was cool. It worked out on its own. And then you had the TV series. You know, for all intents and purposes, it was quite formulaic in that it followed your typical TV tokusatsu superhero. You know, which wasn't bad. The series was very fun. You should definitely check it out if you haven't yet. But coming back to Cutie Honey Tears, the action definitely felt upgraded in the sense that it felt more realistic and definitely more grounded. And the last thing I'd like to point out that I really enjoyed about this movie is that Nishiuchi Mariya really fit the part of Cutie Honey. And I guess Nishiuchi, when preparing for this role, she has been training at the gym just so that she can look and act the part. And she didn't just fit the role, you know, I thought the new costume looked pretty cool. It definitely looked a lot sleeker and not as cheesy as its earlier incarnations, but at the same time, the new design was kind of a lot more conservative. Like, you know, in the earlier suits, Cutie Honey's cleavage was intentionally designed to pop out of her costume. Or in this one, you don't see it at all. And you know, in a way, it kind of felt reflective of what Hollywood has been doing with their own superhero movies. You know, rather than staying 100% true to the original source material and making their actors wear colorful spandex, they have them wear something that's more practical and looks more sleeker and something overall more appealing to the audience of nowadays. But yeah, the suit design, the action, the set design, everything was pretty cool. But you know, that's really all I have to say positively about Cutie Honey Tears. So now let's talk about the things I didn't really enjoy about Tears, which, you know, it was quite a lot. But before I dive into what I did enjoy about this movie, I just want to point out a lot of these might be diving to spoiler territory. You know, I'll try my best to not reveal spoilerish information as best as I can. And also, some of the things I say might not necessarily be bad for this movie, but you know, it's definitely a lot different. And because so many things have come before Cutie Honey Tears, you know, anime, manga, TV series, and movie, it has the unfortunate job of trying to live up to those things and at the same time try to do something new to make a name for itself. So here we go. You know, instead of bringing back the original Cutie Honey, they decided to go with what Hollywood has been doing, and that is give Cutie Honey a greedy reboot. You know, it's kind of like comparing the old Adam West Batmans. You know how they're fun, they were campy, and then you transition into the Christopher Nolan Batmans where, you know, it was dark, it was violent, it was emotional. That's how I felt when looking back on the older Cutie Honey works and comparing them to the one now. You know, for Batman, it kind of worked out because it felt closer to how Batman should have been in the comics. But you know, for Cutie Honey, it felt very strange. You know, the old fun, campy Cutie Honey, that's what made Cutie Honey. But you know, Cutie Honey Tears, you know, as the title of the movie suggests, she cries a lot, and it's, you know, pretty depressing at times. You know, some of the things that have changed that I really miss from the original works, you know, this time around, there is no gratuitous pervertedness. There is no honey flash when she transforms. Come on. There aren't any catchphrases. You know, in the older works, when she transforms and tricks the enemies and then she finally reveals herself to be Cutie Honey, you know, she goes on, you know, sometimes I'm a nurse, sometimes I'm a biker, but actually, in reality, I'm Cutie Honey. She doesn't do that. She just kind of just twirls around, changes, and new costume. And don't get me wrong, she does transform. But you know, in the older works, you know, she goes through her transformations and she does a roll call. You know, that's kind of something that's essential in Japanese superheroes, I feel, is that, you know, you have to have the roll call. And because of that, this Cutie Honey, it felt kind of bland, you know, very much downplayed and not as energetic. And above all else, she has no sword. Now, that's kind of one of the things that kind of go hand in hand, you know, with Cutie Honey is, you know, you have the pervertedness and you have the sword. Also noticeably different in Cutie Honey Tears is Hayami Seiji. You know, in the older works, he had a flat cap on and he was kind of suave and you really didn't know what he was about. He kind of came off as this really stalkerish dude. But in Cutie Honey Tears, he loses the flat cap, he loses the whole stalkerish persona, and then what we have left is your typical guy who's down on his luck and on a mission to make things better. And a while ago, you know how I said that I really enjoyed the action and the choreography in Cutie Honey Tears, but you know, something that's bad on the technical side is that there was a lot of shaky camera, you know, exactly like Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight series. You know, it's one thing to have really cool action and really cool choreography, but it's another thing when your camera can't even capture it successfully. You know, I also mentioned that Nishiuchi Mariya, you know, she sang the theme songs for Cutie Honey Tears, but one thing I was extremely disappointed in is that, you know, the original theme song, Cutie Honey, it really didn't have a presence in this movie. No, I take that back. The theme song, it did make an appearance in one segment in the movie, but it wasn't in the opening and it certainly wasn't in the ending. Like, it was more like an Easter egg rather than something to promote Cutie Honey herself. But you know, above all, something I felt was interesting, but at the same time I wasn't really feeling, was that they never explicitly referred to Cutie Honey as Cutie Honey. Actually, no, the character's name in the movie is not Kisaragi Honey as it was in the original works. It's Kisaragi Hitomi. So all the characters, they refer to her as Hitomi or Hitomi-chan. You know, she's never actually called Cutie Honey by any of the characters other than Jill. And she kind of calls her Cutie Honey in a kind of taunting way, like, there you are, my little Cutie Honey. You know, it's not really a code name or anything like that. It's kind of more of name calling. You know, that certainly was different and certainly was strange, and I don't think I can buy into that. So yeah, the bottom line of Cutie Honey Tears, it certainly is a different honey. You know, it's not Sato Eriko or Haramikie. You know, I don't know about you guys, but my favorite live action Cutie Honey still is Haramikie, the TV series girl. Second one would have to be Sato Eriko from the original movie. And third, I'm sorry, I love you, Nishiuchi Mariya. You were great in what you were asked to do, but you're probably my last ranked one out of all the live action Cutie Honeys. But yeah, it's a different Cutie Honey experience. It's gritty, it's emotional, and you know, it tried to do what Hollywood has been doing with its own superhero movies. But in changing Cutie Honey and making it gritty and making it more realistic, it kind of lost a lot of the charm that made Cutie Honey great and lovable in the first place. You know, I love the old Cutie Honey, you know, who's very bubbly, who defeats everyone with a sword, and maybe even her butts and boobs. But yeah, Lost is what made Cutie Honey unique and likable, and now we have kind of a more typical superhero. And overall, I have to say, I was disappointed with Cutie Honey Tears. You know, you can see what they were trying to go with, but at the same time, you notice what was lost and the effects of losing those things over adopting the new. But yeah, you know, if you really want to watch this movie, I can recommend this movie for fans of superhero films, or even just fans who like to watch superhero girls kick some ass. So those are my thoughts on Cutie Honey Tears. What did you guys think? Whatever your thoughts are, leave a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to Asian Filmist for more reviews and discussions on Asian films. You can also chat with us on Facebook and Twitter. And if you subscribe to our email newsletter, you can receive a free copy of our ebook, The 108 Asian Films for New Fans to Watch. And once again, my name is Ray. You can catch me on Twitter at RayMaru555. And yeah, that's about it, everyone. Alright guys, I'm about to watch another movie. I'll be back soon, yeah? Promise.